Good afternoon and welcome to XSell Live. I'm your host, Korah Hart, coming to you from the sunny Phoenix, Arizona today. Drop into the comments where you are joining us from, or if you have any questions, and we'll try to get those answered. Today, I have special guest Phil Barneo, also known as Fired Up Phil. Phil is a
Always.
kingdom minded real estate entrepreneur building businesses in real estate sales and investing. He's a multiple six-figure GCI earner, team leader, and a seven-figure business owner. Phil is also a motivator and coach, teaching faith based success principles, helping others reach their God given potential in business and life. Phil, welcome. It's an absolute pleasure to be working with you today.
Thank you, Korah. I appreciate that. Thank you for the intro. I am fired up. I'm always fired up, and I'm excited about life. I'm excited about the gift of life. I believe that's why it's called the present. And I'm excited to be here with you today and to be able to hopefully drop some bombs for some people to produce fruit in their business, in their real estate career, right? That's why we're here, right? Having some trainings and doing some things so that we could help people in this group scale their business up. That's what it's all about. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. We were talking about how to get to a six-figure agent or beyond, even seven-figure agent, right? And that's one of the things that let's just start there for a minute, honestly, because I think, and we'll get into, prospecting and stuff like that. But I think such an important part of business building is understanding in your mind, having the right mindset. So let's just stop right there for a second and just brag about the real estate industry and the opportunity that we have here for a minute, because you've got to grasp that and understand that and treat that like it is, which is a blessing. Otherwise, you can very easily, just get sidetracked. I have had the opportunity. I cut my teeth as an entrepreneur when I was like 20 years old. So I haven't had a job or been employed by anybody since I was like 20. And I've been in and out of all kinds of different businesses, traditional businesses. And what I love about the real estate industry, being a real estate agent, you have a remarkable opportunity. We do as agents to create a big upside, right? You can be a seven-figure earner in this business, and you have very low overhead, right? And the opportunity to earn is incredible. So, and there's low startup costs on top of that. So the opportunity that we have to earn here and with the minimal downside makes this an enormous opportunity. So right there, I always like to, just encourage people to really appreciate that and take full advantage of it, because it's worth, admiring and noting here. So I accidentally kind of got involved in real estate. I was real estate investing, flipping houses and stuff like that. And I still do. And I decided to get licensed because I believe in creating multiple streams of real estate income. When I got licensed, kind of building off of what I just said, what I didn't realize was how much money real estate agents make. They make good money. And so I kind of accidentally got started and was building a real estate transactional company and stuff with my wife. People started to ask me, and I was just doing it for the investment purposes at first, but then people started asking me like, hey, you seem to be doing really well. You're flipping houses, you're selling houses, you're finding these houses. Can you help us find a house? Can you help sell our property? And so I did, and I started realizing that there was an enormous opportunity. And we started building a transactional company that does multiple six figures now. We're growing a team and stuff. We're trying to get to the seven-figure point when it comes to what we can produce in our GCI with our team and everything. So there's a great opportunity in real estate to earn a lot of money. And one of the things that I want to start out with the mindset and everything is just helping people understand, like, it took me a long time to realize that if I didn't understand like why I wanted to do something, it was going to be a lot more difficult for me to stay motivated and accomplish it. I kind of have, like, I guess you call it the entrepreneurial curse a little bit. So I can get sidetracked and do different things. And what I realized was when I really started to dig deep into understanding why I want to do something or why I want to build something, it allowed me to stay on track, to stay focused, and it allowed me to overcome all the obstacles that we're inevitably going to face when we're building our business. And I think that's really important, especially for people in the real estate industry, because a lot of people have come over from jobs to be agents and stuff, and they don't have an entrepreneur's background. And so you really have to understand and start treating your business like a business and start thinking like a business owner instead of like an employee. And turning that switch from employee, right, to business owner is the first serious step you take in growing a 6 or even 7 figure business. So that's what I learned when I got started out young. I had to understand why, and I had set goals. And now I kind of consider myself a real estate junkie because we have transactional, we do investing and stuff. I love real estate, but I'll be totally honest with you, it's not my biggest passion, and it's not something that completely drives me. I actually am more passionate about ministry, and what I love about understanding my why is that real estate is a vehicle, right? For me, it's a vehicle for you, it's a vehicle for anybody listening to be able to really get to your why. And you really want to take a little bit of time to understand, why is it that you're building your business? Why is it that you want to do real estate? Why is it that you want to make, 6 figures or multiple 6 figures or whatever your goals are? When you understand, the root reason behind the why, it's going to really help you sustain, your energy and overcome all the adversities, like I was saying. So if you don't have a pen and a paper, I would encourage you to take it out. Just take a little bit of notes on this. I promise you, we're going to get into some other stuff, but even with the mindset, I think it's so important that we take notes on what it is that we're learning. Even if it's just one nugget or two nuggets that jump out at you, at the end of the day, if you don't implement the things that you learn, we're never going to move forward, right? So I'm going to give you some hopefully good stuff here. And I'm just going to ask that you take some notes, write some stuff down. It'll help, you remember what it is that we're talking about and start to implement it. So the first thing you should write down is, if I don't know my why, I need to go figure that out right now. I need to think a little bit deeper on it. It's not just about making more money. It's like, why do you want to have more money? I want to have more money because I want to grow my ministry. I want to have more money because I want to be able to have more time freedom to, travel and see all of the wonderful things that God created. I want to have more money because I want to be able to spend more time with my kids, or whatever the reason is for you. You've got to lock in on that and understand it, because that's going to be one of your driving forces. It's kind of like the
And I
fuel behind the vehicle.
I do love that point because a lot of people don't understand their why. They think it's just money, and
Hmm.
it really isn't. Why do you want the money? What are you going to do with it? I personally love to help people. That's my passion. I just got lucky, fell into the right spot because I love helping people. So I like to make enough money because then I can do that.
Yeah. And with EXP, we have an enormous opportunity to help people. It's different than any other real estate model, right? So that works out really well
It really
when it
does.
comes
It was
down
an
to it. So,
amazing, it's been an amazing journey. And I think you could probably say the same thing.
yeah, oh, absolutely. I love EXP. I came from a different brokerage, and the opportunity that we have to help other people be successful in EXP is tremendous, because I share the same passion. Obviously, being somebody who's, like focused in ministry and serving, like I want to help people. I want to help you succeed. I want to help you get better. So yeah, we love the opportunity to do so within what we have here in the model of EXP. So now let's talk a little bit more about, like, before we get into prospecting. So 6 figure mindset, a couple of notes that you might want to jot down, or 7 figure mindset. If you want to be a 7 figure, write that down. 7 figure mindset's even better. But the first thing I mentioned is you've got to shift your thinking from like an employee to a business owner. You've got to have that mindset. And one of the biggest things that comes from, taking that mindset shift is like, there's nobody that's going to tell you what you need to do every day, right? That's one of the big things that I've learned when training and helping and coaching people who try to make that shift. It's like you go from, people telling you what to do to now, like, yo, this is my responsibility, right? I have to be accountable to build my business and stuff. And so that's huge. You got to take the responsibility. That would be the second note that I would jot down on that mindset. One thing that I learned kind of on that note to help from one of my favorite mentors, if you guys have never read any of Jim Rohn's stuff or listened to it, I highly encourage it. I love the way that he teaches. He was a big inspiration for me in my life, and still is. I still listen to him. So one of the things he talked about was major time versus minor time. And this is probably one of the biggest things that, prevent people from moving forward. Major time is spending time which we're going to start talking about prospecting. It's doing the things that are going to grow your business and particularly produce revenue. These are revenue, actions, revenue producing actions. And then there's minor time, which is the things that, we probably all try to do because we don't want to do some of the other things that we're supposed to do. And that is every other thing that's not like directly in revenue producing activities, which in this case, we're talking about building your real estate business. You got to prospect. And, at that is major time prospecting. And that's what we're going to get into. And so on that note, we'll switch into some prospecting. But the one thing that I will say that will help you with the time management, so to speak, is understanding like time blocking. Do you do that, Korah? Do you have like how do
Yeah,
you
I actually teach all of the agents in the Excel training program how to time block and what's important about doing that and how to utilize different types of calendars because it's very important.
very
I'd say it's
important?
the most important thing I've ever done in business. And I always look at something, whether it's an income producing activity or if it's just a menial task,
Right, absolutely.
because there's a lot of things I can sub out or that can wait. And I need to really be focusing on those income producing tasks first. And that's why I try to teach them.
Yes, absolutely. And the cool thing about that, the time blocking is that's what gives you the accountability, right? So like if you know that you are between, whatever, 8 and 11 o'clock, like that's your prospecting time, right? That's what you're supposed to be doing. If you don't do that, well then you're not going to grow your business. And it's pretty simple to troubleshoot these things, right? If we want to make more money, we've got to troubleshoot it back to how we're spending our time. And like there's plenty of people that have good skills, right? Some people are better at prospecting than others because they have more experience and they've put more time in the game and stuff, and that's okay. But people are not miracle producing, individuals where they're so much better than you that you can't be successful as a real estate agent, that you can't be a 6 or 7 figure earner or whatever your goals are. The truth is that you can. And it comes down to really understanding what it is that you're doing with your time. What are you investing your time in? Is it the major stuff or the minor stuff? We could probably all stop right there and we would be able to like beat ourselves up because it probably is evident that we're not spending our time doing the things that we need to be doing to produce income and revenue. So time
And
blocking
you
is way.
touched on something too earlier about having that business owner mindset. And one of the things I can tell you about every business owner I've worked with or being one myself is we don't have 8 to 5 hours. We work nonstop around the
Yep.
clock. And if we're not done, we keep going until we are done
Yep.
because we burn the candle at both ends. And that's what makes you successful in the long run.
Absolutely. If you don't get the things that are important done for the day, you keep going, right?
Yeah. And I
And
mean,
that's
that's what time blocking. Yeah, you're trying to get it done in a time frame, but sometimes it doesn't work that way. Just because you're a business owner doesn't mean you can go play golf, 5 hours a day and not
yes,
do the other things because that's not going to get you where you want to be.
right. And that goes to the mindset, right, of being a business owner. It's all when you're a business owner, rule number one is everything is your fault. Everything is your fault. There is no blaming anybody else except for you because it's your business. If you don't take notes while you're listening to this and you don't, follow trainings and you don't implement and you don't time block and you don't hold yourself accountable, like it doesn't matter. Everything is your fault. And that may sound harsh, but it's just the harsh truth, right? When you're a business owner. But the other awesome part on the flip of that is that as a business owner, there's no ceiling on your income potential. You can create freedoms in your life that you want. And so those are all part of your why, right? So everything kind of flows together here. But we're not gonna, paint the picture that it's gonna be life is so easy, building a business is so easy because it's not. It's gonna come down to obviously doing the things that are income producing and taking the time that we have each day and investing it into those important activities, one of which being the most important would be prospecting. So what in the world is prospecting? I'm assuming most people have a somewhat sort of an understanding, right, of sales and prospecting. So prospecting to me is finding leads and having conversations with those leads with the intention of selling our service, right? Selling what it is that we do, which in this case is real estate. So whether we're looking for listings, whether we're working with buyer clients, we're we're finding leads and we're prospecting them. We're finding them and we're having conversations with them, and that's what we're measuring, right? Each day, we're measuring how many people we talk to, right? Those are the things that you need to be doing when you have your time blocked for prospecting. And if you don't have time blocked for prospecting, well, you just got that's your troubleshooted. You just got troubleshooted right there because you're not prospecting, right? So you've got to put time into prospecting. So once you have that down, now the question is, all right, well, what do I do, right? What do I do in prospecting? So let's go through like kind of the sales process, and then we'll go into like ways of finding leads and how to prospect, right? So for me, like I teach, so prospecting is kind of the first step of the sales process, right, in real estate. So you're finding and qualifying leads. That's step number one in prospecting. Then you need to pitch and present what it is that you have to offer, right? So you're never going to get a sale if you don't present, if you don't pitch, if you don't tell people what you do, right? And then there is the nurturing process. Not everybody is going to say, yes at first, right out the gate. So what you have to do is you have to follow up and nurture these prospects. And you do that with your CRM. Whatever CRM you're using, NEXP, all the agents are giving KV Core, right? So you have KV Core if you're using that. Whatever you're using, that's kind of your database of prospects that you need to be nurturing and following up with on a regular basis. There's a saying in sales, and it is 1,000% true, and that is the fortune is in the follow-up. If you're skipping the nurturing phase, you're wasting a lot of your leads. And I've done it many times and still do it. I'm always working on better ways to nurture and better ways to follow up, with all of our leads and our prospect, right? So, and then there's obviously step 4 is you got to close, right? We teach ABC, always be closing, right? So no matter where you are in the process, you're always pushing towards that close. And some prospects need to be nurtured more, right? Some you get lucky and they're ready to go right away. Those are great, but that's not always the case, right? So step 1, if you're taking notes, is prospecting. You're finding and qualifying leads. That's step 1. Step 2, you've got to present. You've got to pitch and present them what it is that you offer, right? Step number 3 is you've got to nurture those that are, that need nurturing. You got to continue the process here. And then step 4 is close. Now, you're always closing, right? So you might get to skip step 3 if somebody's ready to go, but we're always trying to close. And those are kind of the 4 simple steps to understand in the sales process. Now, probably one of the biggest questions is, well, where do I find leads, right? How do I get leads? Is that what you find with a lot of agents and stuff?
I'm pretty sure that's my number one thing. How do I get more leads? How do I go find people? How do I meet people? So I do try to, explain that there's events and there's different ways that you can get out there and get yourself in front of people. But it's also just building relationships with people around you. And a
Yes.
lot of people don't even know their neighbors. And I know everybody in my neighborhood. I know everybody on my HOA board. And these
Yes.
are things that are important because I get to stay involved and relevant.
Yes. And when you're implementing prospecting on a regular basis and you're producing, then you have, your pipeline is filled with prospects, you're nurturing them, and you're constantly churning out sales. If you're just getting started or if you've stagnated, then your pipeline is dead, right? Your funnel is dead. I don't have like visuals here to explain it, but I think most people understand what a sales funnel is. So what you want to do is start having those conversations, and we'll get into some different ways to do it. But you want to keep adding people to your database, to your CRM, and you want to keep, moving them along the progression within your CRM. So if you're not familiar with utilizing your CRM, that we don't have time to necessarily do a training on that. but you really should get used to it. I mean, like you have to understand how to manage this flow, right? So if they're a brand new lead, you've got to be able to take notes on them, right? And where are they, and keep following up with them to get them to the closing table. And that's kind of what you need to do. And your CRM is just a great tool to help you do that. You could go old school, I mean, and do it, on the paper way and stuff like that. But
And
modern,
I think everybody in the training and that are probably going to be watching primarily most of them watching this
yeah,
video are going to understand how to do digital marketing
yeah,
and how to build click funnels and do zaps so that they can continue that, because
okay,
that's important to know how that works and
absolutely.
how to utilize those tools that we're giving you.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned click funnels, that's a great way to capture leads and stuff, right? And to do that. And mark or mastering your CRM is great because that's the nurturing. That's where you're putting people in and you're moving them. It's kind of the hub for your whole business, really. So you definitely want to get good at that. So when it comes to your scheduled prospecting time, if you want to start earning more money, the bottom line is you got to make more sales, right? So how do we start finding, prospects? How do we prospect, right? Everybody is taught your sphere of influence. So you should go through that definitely first. You can start calling people and hey, look, anybody who owns a home is a prospect. If you anybody that that owns a home is a prospect. We teach, listings are gold in this business. Now, we work with buyers too, but everybody wants listings. Listings are, the way to riches. And that doesn't mean that we don't work with buyers, but anybody that owns a home that you should start putting in your database and nurturing them. Everybody, because eventually they're going to sell it, right? So it's just a matter of thinking more long term. A lot of us, again, it's the mindset. Don't be in it for the quick win all the time. This is a long-term game, and the more people that you're entering into your database, into your CRM, and nurturing, that's what starts to create the sales, right? So anybody who owns a home, you can start to call and you can talk to them and say, hey, look, I got some great tools. I'm a real estate agent. I can give you a home valuation. It'll let you know like where you are, and I can keep you updated in the market to where your home's at. Really simple. You put them in there, you tag them as a homeowner, and now you can follow up with them and keep going. And eventually, when they sell their house, you will be, the one that they are calling. So anybody with a home, where else can you find leads? You can find leads. I mean, some people are okay
Social
with
media. I'm telling
social.
you, I just saw a statistic that says within 1 year, you pick up 34,000 leads off of Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, social media is huge. I mean, if you're not branding yourself on your social media as a real estate agent, then you're making a huge mistake. And I see that a lot of times. Like if I clicked on, this is how you can kind of do an audit. If you clicked on your social media, let's say it's Facebook or right, would everybody know that you're a real estate agent when they scrolled through your feed? Would they trust you? Would they think that you're competent? Would they know you're a real estate agent? Are you posting things that, number one, let people know you're an agent, number two, let them know that you're competent, right, in what you're doing? All of those things will definitely create results and help people think of you. We get a lot of people that reach out, DM us, call us on social media because we're continually posting. So you should be posting at least a few times a week, at least 2 to 3 times a week. You should be posting some stuff on your social media that is indicating to people that you are the competent real estate agent that they need to be doing business with. And you can do
And
that
I
in a lot of
ask
different
them,
ways.
I do
But
ask everybody to do a 2-to-1 ratio on that. I say 2 work posts, 1 personal post,
there you
because
go.
if you're not putting anything personal on there, they don't know if they like you. I will
Yes.
be honest, I post probably 5 times a week because I do inspirational, religion, personal, and
Yeah.
then a few times for work. So those are all very important to be
Yes.
getting people to understand exactly who you are, because then they feel like they're developing a relationship with you.
Absolutely. There's a saying, right, that people do business with those that they know, like, and trust. And that is 100% true, but it's not the whole equation. People do business with those they know, like, and trust and believe are their most competent choice because I don't care if they know, like, and trust you. If you're not competent, they're not calling you. So you really got to do both, and you hit the nail on the head by the way that you do it. You want people to understand who you are, and you want to do business with people that you like too, right? It goes both ways. Like, I don't want to do business with an idiot. That, like, I don't care if you're a jerk, I don't want to do business with you. So you want to attract people to you that, that you're aligned with, that you have, that you like, and that are going to be a good fit in business. And when you post things like you were saying about your personal, like about your spirituality, about different things, it helps people like you. And then when you post things about business, stating and showing people that you're competent, you just hit both of the sides. And now people are going to, be much more likely to reach out to you. So, yeah, that's awesome. So social media is huge. There's plenty of other ones. So you've got, if you have the courage to cold call, there's a lot of opportunities in cold calling. You can call FSBOs and expire depending on which market it is. Those are great opportunities. You can cold call. Well, if you like cold calling, you can do that. I'm sure people understand that. We won't get into totally doing that, but that is a very lucrative way to generate business.
One thing I like to tell people is reach out to your title company and get lists of any of the pre-foreclosures from them, because that's a great way to
Absolutely.
get leads. You
Absolutely.
can
And
not only help somebody so they're not losing their home and broke, and you can put their entire family in a totally different situation. And if you want tips on that, you're free to reach out to me and I will tell you how I work those, because I do believe in doing that.
awesome. Yeah, that's a great way. I would love to learn a little bit about what you're doing too with that and how you're doing it. And on that note, like title companies, lenders, attorneys, I believe in reciprocal business. So whenever I start a relationship with somebody, maybe not right out of the gate, I go there, but that's the direction that I'm always headed. So when I'm working with my attorney, I expect reciprocal business, meaning that they're going to refer me business. I'm referring them business. One hand washes the other. If I'm working with a lender and I never get any business out of it, but I'm constantly kicking them business, guess who's looking for a new lender? I'm looking for another lender who wants to do better business with me and reciprocate, because now they got to be competent, of course, but you want to develop those relationships. Those are ways to generate, lead sources that are going to continue to refer you business. So you can do, if you're new into the business, one of the best ways to work is to just do open houses and stuff. I mean, you can generate a lot of buyer leads and open houses, and you can also generate listings from open houses if you do them right. If you farm the area and stuff like that, and allow these other homes in the area to know that you're generating buyers for this open house that might be interested. Do they know anybody else in the area who's looking, who might be looking to sell them? Because we have a pool of buyers. There's lots of different ways to prospect open houses, and those are ways to generate listings and buyers. So that's another great avenue. We talked about social media. The other thing is referrals. I don't know about you guys, but I was in another brokerage and I have never received as many referrals as I have with EXP. So I don't know what the exact Facebook thing is, but if you're not in the EXP referral group, you need to get in there. That's
There's
a real
actually one by state that we ask everybody to be part of, because that is huge. It's very
yeah.
important.
Yeah, and then there's other ways to what is that
Op
deal
City.
estate and stuff, right? You can get and do agent referrals. They don't even have to be in EXP. You just develop relationships with agents, especially ones that are like, your market. Like, we are in Orange County, New York, and we have a lot of people that are dipping out of the city because they hate New York City and they want to live in in Orange County, and they're tired of all the hustle and the bustle of the city. It's a huge market. Like, so we know that we can reciprocate. Well, not really reciprocate. We give them a kickback, a referral, right, for referring. But not many people are moving from Orange to the city, but they're moving to the city from here. So we develop relationships with them, and they kick us buyers, and then we'll give them, a referral fee or whatever on it. So, like, those are opportunities. You could do first-time home buyer trainings. You could do trainings for first-time home buyers and say, hey, hook up with a company that is good at helping people restore credit, and hook up with lenders that, are got their stuff together with first time home buyers and what they can do for them. And then put on events. They could be virtual, it could be in person, and start creating events and, and posting them on social media, what you're doing. And, then you're attracting, first time home buyers. You're getting them on there. You're building trust and confidence. They're going to learn if they like you or not because they're listening to you talk. Obviously, if you're putting on the event, you're going to put out yourself as being a lot more competent than a lot of other agents that are out there. So one of the things, like when it comes to that, on that note, with going back to social media, that I think is an important point to make in closing here, is when it comes to branding, everybody and their mother knows real estate agents, right? Let's be realistic. There's plenty of real estate agents out there. So the question is, why should they do business with you? And so you've got to work on your branding, and you've got to basically rebrand yourself in the mind of everybody who's in your feed. So however many friends you have on Facebook and Instagram, whatever, you need to keep adding to those, right? Start friend requesting people in your area, friend requesting, and start branding yourself as that agent, so that in their mind, that's who they start to think about as, the agent of choice in your area and on your friends list, because those same people have other agents that are friends. So you've got to do your job and reach them. So is there anything else that you wanted to add?
Well, on that one, with having that many friends on Facebook, I think I'm at like 4,500. It's ridiculous. But
Oh,
I
I
keep
think you got
going.
me beat.
I keep going through and weeding people out because they're not engaging, or I find ones that I think that I can engage with.
Yeah,
And somebody had posted in our group on how to go in, I think it was Cameron, and put them so that you see their stuff more frequently. So you can pick like 5 or 10 people and they'll show up in your feed more frequently.
yeah,
And then you can start engaging on their social media because then they're going to see your stuff as well.
yeah. And who
So
you
if
interact
you like
with.
change that every month, I think that's brilliant.
Yeah. And I noticed obviously too, like who you interact with on social media shows up in your feed, right? So the people that if you know that like somebody is, interested in selling their house or whatever, you obviously strategically you want to start interacting with them a little bit and stuff, and kind of planting more seeds, right? Like you're saying, with those types of people. So yeah, that's huge. I mean, there's so many more ways that you can prospect. Obviously, we don't have enough time to get into all the different ways in this training, but we just went over a good handful of them, and there's a lot more. And there's this thing called Google that is an amazing tool that most people don't use enough of, I think. If you want to learn about ways to find prospects, just ask Google. Google is like right on below God in what it knows. It will tell you all kinds of things, and you can go do that. Now, in a recap here, if you want to add at least another $100,000, and it's really like it's not hard to be a six-figure agent. It's not even hard to add six figures. Like in real estate, we're selling a high ticket item. It's not that hard. You just got to get and do the things that you're supposed to do, like we were talking about. So in recapping here, if you want to be a six-figure or add six figures or grow to a seven-figure agent, what you want to do is, number one, treat your business like a business. Stop making excuses if you are. Like everything is your fault. It's your responsibility. Okay. You're a business owner. You are a real estate entrepreneur. When someone asks me what I am, I don't tell them I'm a real estate agent or realtor. I'm a real estate entrepreneur. I provide services of real estate, right? I have that mindset of being a business owner, and you need to employ that in your business, because then you're going to be accountable. You're going to take responsibility, and you're going to start to do the things that you need to do to be able to be successful. One of which is step two, right? Get your time management and time blocking right. You need to spend your time doing the major things. And the only major thing you need to focus on, really, if you want more business, is prospecting. You need to talk to more people. You need to find more leads. You need to do those things. Those are the things that are going to grow your business. That's step two. Step three would be learn where to find more leads, learn where to prospect. We gave you a handful of them. Start implementing some of those, find more ways, and just spend your time block prospecting, and there's no way your business isn't going to grow. There is zero. I would bet everything that I have that if you did that, your business would grow, because it's the law of averages. There's no way it can't if you do it. So I guess that is the fast, quick route to adding at least 6 figures or more to your business. So that's
I
the
love
toolkit.
that. Thank you so much today for joining us, Phil.
You're welcome.
You gave us so much really good information that I think a lot of people can use. And if you have questions later because you're catching this on replay, put them in the comments. We will jump in and answer those for you and try to help you out if you're stuck on anything or if you just want more information, because we're always here to help you. But
Absolutely.
thanks, Phil. Keep doing the great work that you're doing. And I look forward to working with you again.
Absolutely. Same
Love
here.
to have you back on here.
All righty. Take
I
care.
have a
God
feeling
bless.
you have a lot of information in there.
Yeah, I do. My mind is, I'm a real estate junkie, right? Like I said, so it's fun.
Yeah, I
I love
love it.
sharing.
Well,
Take care.
thank you, and you have a great afternoon.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.